Everyone is talking about Doctor Doom, but almost nobody is talking about the insane battles Avengers Doomsday is about to bring. Unlike Avengers Endgame, which was mainly focused on one universe, Avengers Doomsday will feature different dimensions, multiple universes, alternate timelines, and even the Void. Because once an incursion begins, every universe will fight to save its own reality, even if another universe has to be destroyed in the process. And that's exactly why we're about to see some of the biggest Marvel fights ever put on screen. So today, let's go through every major battle expected to happen in Avengers Doomsday. Let's start with the fight that could introduce the X-Men into the MCU. In the Avengers Doomsday teaser, we can clearly see that the X-Men universe is already collapsing. But surprisingly, Doctor Doom isn't the one behind it. If you look behind Cyclops, you can spot an army of Sentinels, which means the Sentinels had already begun hunting and killing mutants before Doom even entered the picture. And these aren't the Sentinels from X-Men, Days of Future Past. They're the giant robots from X-Men 97. These versions are far more dangerous because they're capable of wiping out the mutant race from an entire planet. That's why Avengers Doomsday will most likely introduce the X-Men through an intense battle between the mutants and the Sentinels. Moving on to the next fight. During the CinemaCon event, one scene showed Doctor Doom stopping Stormbreaker with just one hand, but Thor won't be fighting alone. An older version of Captain America will reportedly join it. This is believed to be the same Steve Rogers who stayed in the past with Peggy Carter at the end of Avengers Endgame. According to the rumors, something happens to Peggy and Steve's child. Because of that, Steve falls into depression, grows a beard, and eventually returns to the present timeline. He lifts Thor's hammer once again, and the two heroes go directly after Doctor Doom. But one thing seems almost certain. Doctor Doom will eventually create Battleworld, and once that happens, Thor and Steve are expected to lose this fight. There's even a possibility that Steve Rogers dies during this battle. Next up, we've already met Shang-Chi in his solo movie, and Gambit finally made his live-action return in Deadpool and Wolverine. Now here's what's interesting. Gambit was born inside the Void, which means he doesn't belong to any specific universe. After Cassandra Nova's death, it's believed that Gambit becomes the ruler of the Void. But during the Avengers Doomsday teaser shown at CinemaCon, there's a moment where Gambit and Shang-Chi are seen fighting each other. My guess is that these aren't the versions we already know. Instead, they could both be alternate variants, trying to protect their own realities. Because Shang-Chi belongs to Earth 616, and since Gambit has no universe left to protect, the version we see fighting Shang-Chi is most likely from another reality. Either way, this battle looks almost certain to happen. Now, this is one fight that's almost guaranteed to happen. A lot of fans are expecting a massive Avengers versus X-Men battle in Avengers Doomsday, but it probably won't happen the way everyone thinks. According to the theory, Mystique enters Earth 616 by disguising herself as Yelena Belova, allowing her to move around without raising suspicion. Eventually, one of the new Avengers discovers her true identity, and once Mystique is captured, a small team of X-Men crosses into Earth 616 to rescue her. That leads directly to a fight against the new Avengers. But don't expect Omega-level mutants here. Characters like Magneto, Storm, or Iceman most likely won't be part of this battle. Instead, it'll feature street-level mutants like Mystique, Nightcrawler, and Beast. So yes, we'll probably get Avengers versus X-Men, but on a much smaller scale. And honestly, that's probably the right decision. Because if Marvel starts a full-scale Avengers versus X-Men war this early, it could completely overshadow Doctor Doom's story. Moving on, unlike the Avengers, the Fantastic Four already know Doctor Doom. Victor Von Doom isn't just another villain to them. He's Reed Richards' former college roommate, and one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe. In several comic storylines, Doom has betrayed the Fantastic Four, and according to the teaser shown earlier, it looks like someone was intentionally removed from one scene. Many fans believe that missing character was actually Doctor Doom. Once Doom arrives in the main universe and completes his plan, he'll most likely betray the Fantastic Four once again, which sets up their first major battle. But even with all four heroes fighting together, they struggle against Doom's magic, and eventually they're defeated. After that, the Fantastic Four begin teaming up with the Avengers to stop him. And while this may happen in Avengers Doomsday, the much bigger showdown between Doctor Doom and Reed Richards will probably be saved for Avengers Secret Wars. Now, when I first heard about this fight, I had one question. Why would Sentry fight Loki? But once you look at the rumors, it actually starts to make sense. As we all know, the MCU doesn't have Hyperion, so instead, Sentry is expected to take over a role similar to Hyperion's from the comics. Just like Hyperion once tried to stop two universes from colliding using pure strength, Sentry is rumored to hold two universes apart to prevent an incursion, but he fails. And after that failure, he somehow reaches Loki. Now, even though Sentry is incredibly powerful, going up against the god of the multiverse is a completely different challenge. Exactly how this fight plays out, we'll only know once Avengers Doomsday finally releases. Now, this could easily become the biggest fight in the entire movie. Just like Avengers, Endgame brought every hero together against Thanos. Avengers Doomsday is expected to do something similar, but this time, everyone is fighting Doctor Doom. The Avengers, the new Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the people of Talokan, even the young Avengers. Avengers. All of them join forces to stop Doom. But before they can defeat him, Doctor Doom succeeds in creating Battle World. The moment that happens, every hero is transported there. And from that point on, no one is able to stop him. If Marvel adapts this scene properly, it could easily become one of the greatest moments in MCU history. Next up, no matter which version of the X-Men you look at, Cyclops and Magneto eventually end up on opposite sides. And Avengers. Doomsday may be no different. It's expected that Professor X dies very early in the movie. After that, Cyclops joins Magneto's team. But it doesn't last long. Eventually, Cyclops realizes that Magneto's methods are becoming too extreme. Their beliefs no longer align, and that's what leads to a fight between them. Afterwards, Cyclops forms his own team, while Magneto continues leading his own. And finally, one of the most rumored fights in the entire movie, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man versus Wolverine. According to the rumors, this battle happens right at the beginning of the film. Both characters come from different universes, but after the events of Deadpool and Wolverine, Wolverine already knows about the coming incursions. To save Spider-Man's universe, Beast reportedly gives Wolverine a device that would destroy one universe to protect another. The plan sounds simple, but before it can happen, Spider-Man steps in, and that's where the fight begins. Eventually, time runs out. The incursion happens, and both universes collide. According to the rumor, both Wolverine and Tobey's Spider-Man die very early in the movie, and because these are two of Marvel's most iconic characters, their deaths could become one of the most emotional moments in Avengers Doomsday. So those are all the major fights that are currently expected to happen in Avengers Doomsday, from the X-Men battling Sentinels to Thor taking on Doctor Doom, and even Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man fighting Wolverine. This movie has the potential to deliver some of the biggest battles we've ever seen in the MCU. Now, of course, these are all based on the latest rumors, reports, and theories. Marvel could still surprise us with something completely unexpected. But if even half of these fights make it into the final movie, Avengers Doomsday could easily become one of Marvel's biggest films ever.